Bonjour, peeps. Neshi Lilcott's here, Star Nation's organization's main fan page. Friday morning, August 24th, and this is the live stream for the card draw that we do every morning. And I'm laughing because you know how I always describe where I broadcast from is Star Nation's Academy, right? And just about every time I share that with you guys, I say I love broadcasting from here because it's so quiet and peaceful, and energy is much slower, calmer here than down at the house. Except for this morning, I showed up here to do the setup for the live stream, and as I was leaving the house, it started to storm, thunder, lightning. The rain, it hadn't started raining yet. And so when I came around the corner to the academy, we have construction trucks in the driveway. And so I had to park out on the street. And as soon as I put it in park, I saw this flash of lightning across the sky. Way cool. And you know how you count? You go 1, 2, 3. And it's supposed to be the number of miles from where you're at that the lightning has struck, right? I didn't even get one out. And it was a big boom. And so I sat in the car for like a half a second thinking, do I get out of the car? Do I go inside? And I thought, oh, what the heck? So I got out of the car, grabbed my stuff, and started walking inside. And it is just pouring out. But I have to tell you, I'm laughing because there's going to be times during this broadcast you're going to hear the construction guys because I didn't have time to grab all my stuff and head back down to the house to set up for a broadcast from my home office. And I'm not complaining because you know what? They're probably going to be done today. Yeah. That means the bathroom renovation will be done. Everything but the painting. Hey, good morning, Elise. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Mary Ann, if you're watching. Good morning, ladies. Glad you're here. I can hear them out there. And every once in a while, it sounds like the side doors opening. What they're doing is they're putting the trim in. So every once in a while, you're going to hear their generator, like right now. And you're going to hear them, their pneumatic gun stapling. Yeah. I wasn't going to ask them to stop for the hour and I wasn't going to grab my stuff and go down to the house because I figure, hey, let's just be in the flow. You guys can hear it in the background. It's too funny. Now, with the card draw this morning, which is funny, I'm just going to check to see how we're doing with the live stream because with the thunderstorm that's rolling through, I'm not sure exactly about the internet. So we're going to double check here. Turn down my sound so we don't get all squelchy. And, oh, good. It looks like we're rolling. Yay. All right. So while I'm here, I may as well share the video, the broadcast while I'm here. I'm going to share it to my timeline. And it doesn't take long, right? What usually takes longer is the typing. And I'm just going to let them know that I'm live streaming. And please join me. There we go. That's one. Hey, good morning, Elise. She says, you're good here. Great. So you don't hear a lot of the background noise because right now they're sighing. Yeah. Thank you, Elise. She said she shared it to her timeline. And I am going to share it also to Star Nation's Radio Closed group. And there we go. I hope that went. It went too quickly. All All right, there we go. Excellent. So this morning, it was one of those mornings where, you wish you could just stay in bed and sleep late because you could hear the rain on the roof and could hear the rumbling of the thunder. Yeah, it was one of those kind of early mornings. And I think that was like around, 5:30 that I got woken up and thought, oh, I have not quite an hour left to sleep. And so anyway, it's a good morning for sleeping and to, maybe a little baking because it's cool. It's not even 60 degrees here. Yeah, it's a little cold. Yeah. Elise says, yep, just that was the nailer. There it is again. That's all right. I kind of like that sound this morning. What I'll do, I don't know if I can do this or not because I don't have enough cable. I was gonna say we could go in there. You guys could see it, but I don't have enough cable. Not so much the internet cable. I have plenty of that for the distance. It's the electrical cable for the camera and the microphone. Yeah, I'll have to do a separate live stream for that. Mm-hmm. Hey, Margaret joined us. Good morning, Margaret. Lisa's supposed to be 90 here for the next few days. Really hot and humid, huh? Hot and humid. That is usually what it's like here in Wisconsin in August. Hot and humid. And we have barely hit 70 degrees in the last 3 days. Yeah, hasn't been too rainy, but cooler, much cooler. I think you guys are going to like the cards today. They're very interesting. Here's the first one. The first one is the square. The square. Get my camera to focus on it. And it's interesting because the square represents Earth, okay? According to sacred geometry, anyway. It represents Earth, and it has the energies of the divine male. So in other words, it's about thought and the mental mind, right? The male. But it also represents Earth. And I remember when I first started studying sacred geometry, that was hard to understand. It was a real challenge for me because it makes me think about my belief systems from a Native American point of view, right? And to have Earth represented by a square, the hexagon, actually, which is a cube, and the square is just, the flat side of it. And so it was, that was those early days when I was first starting to study. But I've come to be a little bit more comfortable with it for this reason. And I think Francine really does. There it goes. That's the generator. Can you hear that? It's a big hum. Here's what Francine says about the square. She says the square represents earthly substance, matter, and security. Man-made things are constructed in this geometric shape. 4 equal sides are solid, firm, and stable. And when I first read her description of the square and how it represents Earth, I could kind of understand that because, the stability, the security of Grandmother Earth. I can get that. I can understand that. And we do use the square shape in many of our buildings. I mean, this room is practically a square. It's not quite. It doesn't have 4 equal sides. I don't think. Paul would probably disagree with me. But it's so we use that shape quite a bit. We do. And so I can understand that, right, from that perspective. She says that drawing this card suggests that we are in need of a secure place in which to air ideas and pronounce our intentions. To air our ideas and pronounce our intentions. Hey, Rob Candle joined us. Hello, Rob. Good morning. And Mary Summers is here too. Good morning, Mary. So we need a stable place, a safe place to air our ideas and to pronounce our intentions. Have you ever thought about that? You know, we probably don't slow down enough to really consider it, the steps that we take. So when you have an idea, what do you do with it? How do you share it? Do you share it? And if you do share it, who do you share it with? Right? Yeah. And then our intentions, how often do we speak our intentions out loud? I think it depends on what it is. When we're doing ceremony, we state the intention out loud. But in other parts of our lives, do we do that? Do you? You know, I was kind of sitting here thinking about that a little bit. Elise says, love your jacket. Yeah, me too. Star Nations. And it's got a hoodie, which was really good for this morning when it was just pouring out. Yeah. Talk about humidity. You know, I have naturally curly hair. It's not like tight curlies, but it's got big curls to it. And so when this kind of weather, man, you got to have a lot of product in your hair for it to do what you want it to do. Or you have to be okay with just saying, oh, okay, the heck with it. It is what it is, right? Can you buy one? I want to say yes, but we need to find, or I need to ask her if she'd be willing to do the embroidery work on a jacket. I have to ask. Or we have to find a new outlet, which I haven't done yet. And so we will. You can. I just need to find another outlet for it. Okay. And as soon as I do, we'll make it a big splash about it. Okay. We'll even get T-shirts made too. We haven't done that in a while either. So yeah, good question. Thank you, Elise, for asking that. So have you guys thought about it? How do you express your ideas? And if you do, who do you express it to? And outside of sacred ceremony, do you state your intentions in your daily life? Let's just put it that way. Because do we slow down enough to really even consider that? I do know that when stating your ideas, we tend to be, I think we're very selective in who we share that with, because there's some people in our circles, in our families or our friendship circles that are a little bit more supportive than others. Do you have those kind of people in your life that when you feel it's a great idea and you say it to them and they kind of shoot a lot of holes in it? It's like, oh, and then you tend to, not do that idea, right? Or at least you don't do all of it. Let's put it that way. I don't know. It made me stop and think about it, consider it. And this is the first card that was drawn, that was given to us by my spiritual team, right? And so it sits in the right-hand side of the card layout, which means we're taking this in through the mental aspect, the male aspect, the logical and thinking. And so I stopped and thought about it for a little bit. And so I have to share with you that I don't share all of my ideas, like to everybody. Selective sharing, um, until I can get some feet under it and see how's it going to kind of come out a little bit more, how it unfolds, and then I might add more people to that announcement, sharing. But there's certain people. And the one person that I usually share with right away is Paul, because he might not always agree with my grand ideas, but he's supportive of them and saying, well, I don't know. Have you thought about it this way? I've thought about it that way. So he doesn't shoot it down, but we talk about it, right? And he says, if you did it this way, it might be a little bit more, you might be able to reach more people, or more people will understand it, or something like that, right? So we have a good discussion about it. Yeah. Hey, Minnie, one of my sisters is here. So sharing your ideas. Who do you share them with? And with this is the card that was drawn first, the square. And so Francine is saying that we need a secure place in which to air our ideas and pronounce our intentions, right? So I was just asking, a part of your everyday life. I know that we state our intentions when we're doing ceremony, but just in your everyday life, how often do you state your intentions? And then to who? Good morning, Minnie. Mighty Minnie. That's what Paul calls her. Mighty Minnie, because she's a powerhouse. Mighty Minnie is. And so what else does Francine say? She says, use this solid connection to your ideas out of the imaginary phase and into the realm of substance and manifest things. This is also a good time to speak your personal truth. Find security in self-expression. And I really think that that's the bottom line, is our self-expression, right? How comfortable are we with our self-expression? Yeah. As when I was dancing Native American dancing powwows, when I was a competition dancer, I was just a kid, right? But the self-expression in that is your dance outfit, your regalia, and how do you want to present yourself, right? And so, of course, my mom designed almost all, like 99.9% of my outfits. I would help her put them together, do simple things, because she's the sewer, not me. And in that self-expression, that was with my clothes. But here we're also talking about the expression of our ideas and our intentions. So have a thought about that. Consider that for a moment. Yeah, I like the part that this also is a good time to speak your personal truth. Reminds me of that movie with Tom Cruise. What is that? Where he's the naval attorney. A Few Good Men, I think that's the title of it. And with Jack Nicholson. And toward the end of the movie, Jack Nicholson, one of his famous lines in that movie is the truth, you can't handle the truth. But when you think about truth, your truth may not be the same truth as someone else, right? And so when we talk about your to stand in your own truth, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to agree with your truth. Yeah. And then there's the divine truth. And a divine truth, I believe, covers almost everybody. And I say almost because we don't want to really completely generalize, right? Yep. So it's a good time to speak Your personal truth. Your personal truth. Yeah. And I wonder, do we even say that out loud? Because sometimes our personal truth um, may not fit, out there in society, in our Western society, especially when you're a caregiver, a primary caregiver. For those of us that do this kind of service, we have our moments, we have our days where we think, what the heck am I doing? And we have our own personal truths about that. And we may not always voice those personal truths. We might keep those to ourselves a bit more, right? Yeah, that's part of the burnout, I think. So anyway, here we go. This is the square. Represents Earth, and the shape itself is male. Right? Okay. So the second card that was drawn, oh my God, wait till you see this one. It's called Out Beyond Orion. Out Beyond Orion. Look at that. You got the spiral, and you got the concentric circles. Out Beyond Orion. That's a lot to look at, a lot to take in. The stars in the background. Yep, that's a lot. And I think that you actually have, I'm trying to see if that is a tetrahedron, or it looks more like a square to me. It's kind of like that white kind of, oops, it's about right here. You see that kind of opaque white? It kind of looks like a square to me on its side. On its side, so you have a corner of it right down here, and then that's what it kind of looks like to me, a square. But we'll read what she has to say, what Francine has to say about this. Oops, dropped a card. Oh, okay. All right, so Out Beyond Orion, Holographic Time. Holographic time. What does that mean, right? What does that mean? All right, I'm trying to, let's see, making sure that we have, yeah, I was just making sure the internet's good, because we had, the thunderstorms that rolled through here not too long ago. I would say in the last less than half an hour, they rolled through, and it looks like it's still raining out. Speaking of the rain, saying prayers for our relatives over in Hawaii with the hurricane that went through. They got a lot of rain in a short period of time, a lot of flooding. And also here in Wisconsin, down near our capital, which is south of here by an hour and 45 minutes or so, not quite 2 hours. They've had a lot of rain, central and southwest of here. And Amy Daniels, who is usually in the live chat, posted, I noticed, I think it was yesterday, that on the isthmus in Madison, which is the 4 lakes surround the Capitol, and that entire stretch on the isthmus is in a flood warning today. Actually, I think it's through the weekend. I've never experienced something like that here in Wisconsin. And I've lived here my entire life. I lived down near Madison for 12 years, something like that. And so, yeah, that is I had to do a big wow on that one. Because you've never heard of it before, of the flooding happening down there. And if it does happen, our capital sits on a knoll, and so literally it will be surrounded by water if that does happen. I wonder what that means. Yeah, I'm thinking about the spiritual stuff, the spiritual meaning of that. All right, so let's get back to the card. Out Beyond Orion. It's about holographic time. Francine writes, "As enter the dimension of no time. No time. This card steps beyond the veil of time and place and invites you to see past the constraints of everyday existence, out beyond where you currently stand in this lifetime. Standing outside of time and space." No? I have to say that when I read that first line about enter the dimension of no time, the Mayans talk a lot in their prophecies about in our evolution that we'll experience the feeling of being out of time, of no time. And basically that's stepping outside of the human-made construct of the measurement of time. That makes sense? Outside of the human-made constructs of time. Yeah. Because how many times, see, it's a word we use a lot in our language, time. We get so busy that we're constantly watching the clock. What time is it? I have an hour meeting. I have a telephone call. I've got, and so we're constantly watching the clock. I haven't worn a watch since 1997 or 7, I think it was. The pin on my watch band came out and I lost it, and I went to go get a replacement, and I couldn't find a decent replacement for it. And my watch actually had the time on it, but also had the phases of the moon on it. Like that watch. But I never replaced it, and I stopped wearing a watch. And I had a cell phone, if I'm remembering right. I think it was a Razor. It kind of reminded me of Star Trek. It was the flip kind, It was red. So I stopped wearing a watch, but I was still watching the time. When I wasn't working, away from the job, I was outside of time, literally, because I would start doing something and it didn't matter what time it was. A lot of times Paul would come home and I hadn't even started supper yet, and so we would end up making supper together. But so standing outside of the human constructs of time. Have you ever done that? Not had to be concerned about the elapsed time. When we do shamanic journey, soul traveling, we're outside of that time frame, outside of time and space when we're doing soul traveling. And so if you ever experience that, at least you have the moments where you're outside of that human construct. Because your soul is traveling. It's not your physical body. Your physical body remains, well, it's kind of asleep. It's kind of in between awake and asleep, actually. And that's why when we come back, we have to, we're a little disoriented, making sure that we're back in our bodies. Mm-hmm. And the ego, our egoic part of us, is the timekeeper. in a feng shui sense, it would be the metal person, the timekeeper, right? Very kind of structured. All right, so this is what else she says about the card, and that's the second card drawn. She says, out beyond the stars, out beyond Orion, what lies beyond is the you that is becoming, the you that is creating with joy a lifetime of your own choosing. You are the master of your choices and the artist of your future. I like that sentence, don't you? I'm going to say it again. You are the master of your choices and the artist of your future. Your creative potential lives in every moment, complete, perfect, and draws towards you that which you choose for growth and experience. Let the wave of time pass gently over you and learn to laugh at its passing. Yeah, how often have you said, man, time's just flying by? You know, here it is, August 24th, already. I do that. Lisa's saying weather is bizarre everywhere, kind of scary. Yeah, we're watching nature. We're watching Grandmother Earth taking care of herself, balancing out. Yeah. You know, even with the fires out west, because most of those are caused by humans. There's a few lightning strikes and that kind of thing, but yeah, we're watching Grandmother Earth take care of herself. That lightning this morning was okay. There was a part of me that says it was so awesome, and there's that other part of me that says, man, that was close. All right, so for those who joined later, is I was describing when I got up here to Star Nations Academy to do the broadcast. We have Moose Construction here, and you can hear them in the background. I think they were just sawing, or the generator was on, and they're putting up the trim and installing doors today. But anyway, so I had to park out on the street, and I was just going to get out of the car, and you could see lightning going across the sky, right? And you know, the old adage is that, you know, you start counting, and the number that you get between the time you see the lightning and then hear the thunder is the number of miles that it struck, right? And so I didn't even get one out. I was thinking one, and I was, and the big boom, and you know, shaking a little bit, and yeah. So when I got here, it was really thundering. We had quite a storm going, and it was pouring. It was pouring rain, and yeah. But it was kind of cool. I have to admit that it was kind of cool. Christine's here too, one of my other sisters. There's 3 of us here. All right, so this is the second card that was drawn. It's outside of, oops, upside down. Did I do that again? There we go. It is Out Beyond Orion. That's a lot to look at, isn't it, in that card? Francine Hart says, take a step today to regain autonomy and self-direction. Take those moments. Doesn't have to be many or very long, but take those moments to stand outside of the human-made concept of time. Yeah. You know, we do that when we daydream, I think, too. That's part of that soul traveling, right? We talked about that when we were doing the Sacred Path cards, and Jamie Sams was telling us her definition of dream time and sleep time. And there was also a card that was about daydreaming. And I remember that broadcast, that live stream. saying that we don't really pay attention to our daydreams, but that is a time when we can actually be doing some soul traveling, that we're awake doing it. And when we do that, we're standing outside of that concept of time. And she's calling this holographic time, out beyond Orion. Yeah. So I wonder, when we have these two cards together, and they came together, the square has male qualities, right? Represents Earth. And she was talking to us about this card, about sharing or stating our intentions and also our dreams, our ideas, sharing those. And what does that have to do with outside of time? Because Francine, here's a part in here, what she said is that what lies beyond is that you are that beyond is that you are becoming, that the you that you're creating with a joyful lifetime of your own choosing. You're the master of your choices and the artist of your future. And so I think that those get started with our ideas and how we want to do something, right? How we want to change what we're doing. And then when do we share those things? And what she's saying is that it begins with when you're out of the man-made concept of time, our ideas, kind of out there in the void, right? Where the form is formless, that's right. It's where things are created. And those creations end up on Earth, and where we share them, where we announce them. And so for today's energy, when it's flowing to us, I think it's about how we create our lives, the ideas that we get, those inspirations, right? Those aha moments that we weave together to create something new. Yep. Yeah. And I think it's also about when we state our intentions, when we're outside of the ceremony, because I think we can say that we all know that during ceremony that we're stating the intention for the ceremony, right? But what this is about is our everyday lives, and the intentions that we set for our everyday lives, from the very small to the very large. The very small, what am I going to have for breakfast? Am I going to have breakfast? To, planning that next trip, or starting a new venture, finding a new kind of way to express yourself. Those are big ones. And who do you share them with, right? So today, as the energy unfolds, the day unfolds, is to watch, see how it's coming to you, and how this information that we shared this morning, where is it at? Can you see it? Can you sense it? Are you a participant? Or are you bearing witness to someone, for someone, which is kind of a big thing, really. Because no matter what, we're learning, right? We're learning. Yeah. And if it didn't resonate with you, that's okay too. She's out there beyond Orion, is what you're probably saying. What the heck is she talking about? I'm talking about how we experience our lives, and how we experience our life through the energy that flows, right? Yeah. But if it's not for you, that's okay. I always say that maybe we're just planting seeds, or possibly you're the messenger, that you might know somebody who would enjoy the information, find it some value in it, and you can just share the recorded live stream. Yeah, you're just the messenger, maybe. I've done that. I'm just the messenger. Yeah, it's, you can tell it's not. I could tell it's just not for me. But I know somebody who could really, really find this interesting or useful, and so I share it with them. Done that a lot, especially with videos. You know. All right. So can you hear the generator? There, and pretty soon we'll be hearing the nailer, the pneumatic nailer. Yes, the bathroom's getting worked on today. They're finishing up, putting down the trim work. We got power, got electricity in there. I was playing with it yesterday, playing with the exhaust fan and turning on the lights and that kind of thing. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, your Friday, TGIF. We're getting geared up for next week's shows. That last week of the month, though it's jam-packed, because we have Elder Day coming up on Thursday. We start off with Connie Water with Spiritual Mysteries of Life at 10:30 in the Eastern time zone, and in the morning. And then in the evening is Carl and Ortune Franklin with the Mystery School. That's on Thursday. And I love that day because I get to produce for them. And so I get front row seat. And I have my notepad out too, take some notes. Because sometimes I get some really good ideas from them. I do. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning for the next card draw on Saturday. So Bama Mina, that means in Potawatomi, until we see each other again. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Love you guys. Bye.